knows? For now, we are thinking about tonight race in the trucks. We have some work to do there. Hopefully, we can learn something that we can apply for tomorrow's race in the NASCAR series and put a good race together. This is a good place for me. Obviously, we don't get to race in Mexico, and this is the closest that we get to Mexico. So a lot of family and a lot of friends are coming to the race. So looking forward to have a good run and to have some fun.
Brenden?
You know what? We're in a different situation than Daniel. We had that bad first race, so we could use a win here. It would work. It would go a long ways for us. I've won a few times here in the past, so that seems like ancient history, though. So we gotta work really hard. We got a brand new RCR Chevrolet that they just built for us. So I'm pretty optimistic about that race car, and hopefully we can. If we do 2 solid top 5s, I think we're okay. But it'd be awesome to pull out some of that old magic and not have to worry about it. But I'm not counting on that. We're going to go and drive hard, try to get ourselves a good solid top 5, and then put ourselves back in position to advance at Phoenix.
All right, and Blake?
Yeah, I mean, it would be absolutely great to win here and lock yourself into Homestead. It takes a lot of pressure off, but I think just doing what we've been doing of being consistent, that's what's got us to where we are right now, being third in points. So, but you can't just ride around. You got guys that are chasing you hard. They're coming with their best stuff. So we've also brought our best stuff. Like Brenden said, we've made some updates to our cars too, and we're really looking forward to see how those work.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. We'll start up front with Holly and then go to Jerry.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com, and really this is for any of you. Does it feel like in the XFNITY series that this chase is really pretty tight, pretty, who's guess as to who is possibly the front runner? But I mean, there's no, definite, this is the guy type of thing. It doesn't feel like that anyway, watching. How do you feel as part of it?
You got to look at the Gibbs cars and say that they're definitely one of the favorites. I mean, they've been the strongest all year, but Elliott Sadler had a 50-point lead or something before the chase started. So you can say that the Gibbs cars, or you can say Elliott Sadler, but really it's anybody's race. We already took out 2 guys that I think you expected to be in the next round. So I mean, anybody. I mean, you still got Blake, you still got the Roush cars, you still got everybody still has a chance right now, and that's why I love that the Xfinity Series did it. It still gives 8 guys a chance to win the championship right now.
All right, we'll go to Jerry. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm agree with what Brenden say. I think it just add a lot of pressure to everyone, and that's normal. When you add pressure to somebody, sometimes you make mistakes, and I'm not talking just about drivers, teams as well, pit crews, everyone. So I think it's something very very cool to see. I think I work well under pressure. But we see in the next few weeks.
And I think it's really tight. You have a 3-race points battle. Things get intense, and anything can happen any one of those races and either put you in or put you out.
All right, we'll go to Jerry and then Bob and Chris.
Jerry Fraley, Dallas Morning News for Daniel. Daniel, pardon my lack of knowledge. Let's see, you got it. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Pardon my lack of knowledge of this, but how big of a story is this in your homeland, the fact that you've got a chance to win a title? I mean, are you up there with, Julio Cesar Chavez or something like that? Is this a huge story for your homeland?
Well, I try to do not look to that because for me, this is just my second year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I feel like I'm just starting on this sport, and I feel like I'm still learning a lot every single weekend. I feel like Brenden said, I really feel like we are with one of the best teams right now, maybe the hottest team right now, and that obviously helps a lot. But I'm one of those guys that I just try to do my work, and everything else is going to take care of itself if I do it right. So a lot of people in Mexico is very excited. I had the opportunity to go back to Mexico in our first week off. For the announcement of the sponsor for the NASCAR Mexico Series for next year, and it was just unbelievable surprise for the welcome that I had from the media. It was just unbelievable, crazy, and I was just super excited. They are very excited to see what's going on with us here in the United States in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and for me that's just even more excitement to see a lot of support from obviously from people here in the U.S. and from a lot of people in Mexico as well.
Personally, I think you should pay attention. Lots of pressure there, Daniel. Lots of pressure. Lots of added pressure.
All right, we'll go to Bob, Chris, and then Daniel.
Bob Hocker, CSPN. Brenden, you gave kind of a passionate response on Cup drivers in the Xfinity Series a few weeks ago, so I was curious what your thoughts were on the new rules. And Daniel, do you feel like it'll impact the Gibbs Racing program, the fact that Kyle will not be able to run as many races next year?
I mean, I said it, then I say it now. I like having them. It's more for these two guys right here than it is for me. I'm in the twilight, so it's not going to affect me so much. I got a ride. I'm driving for Richard Childress. I've got great things, but for these guys, it'll affect them. And I can answer the Gibbs thing. It ain't going to affect them much because they still have, 10 races. They can run each guy every race, so it's not a huge deal. I'm sure specific sponsors might be impacted, but I'm glad they did something. It's going to help Blake Koch a ton. It's going to help Daniel Hemrick a ton. It's going to help Brandon Jones a ton. So I'm glad they did something because they feel there's a need for it. But I'm just an old guy that likes to race. I don't care who I'm racing against. I just want to race. So to me, it's glad they did something because it's talked about too much. I think you guys make way too much out of it, and that in turn makes the fans make way too much out of it. But it was something they felt needed adjustment. I'm glad they didn't go as far as some of the rumors I heard, and I think they probably did a decent balance. So the way they balanced the chase and how many races, and they still give guys like Chase and Austin and Ryan and some of these guys a chance to still drive because they don't have the 5 years in yet. So I think that's all good things. I think they did a right thing with it. I just like to race. I don't care who it is.
For me, I'm just trying to learn as much as possible in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and I'm one of those guys that I think that with the Cup guys, it's more difficult to win races and it's more difficult to run in the top 5. But when you are able to do it and when you are able to beat those guys, you feel even better and you learn more as well. So. I really think that it's going to be good a change because we're going to have more opportunities to race in the top 5 and more opportunities to win races. But at the same time, I feel like all that experience from the Cup guys, everyone, Kyle, Matt, Brad, Joey, all these guys, I feel like it's going to be something there are maybe some races missing, because for a young driver, it's just very important to try to absorb as much as you can from the big guys. And those guys, they have a lot of years racing and a lot of experience in every single racetrack that we were able to get that from them. And next year is going to be different, but I don't think it's going to be a bad thing for so many drivers.
All right, we'll go to Chris and then Wolfgang.
Chris Knight, catchfence.com. Blake, I want to talk about your beard for a second. I think it's something that you started before the chase, and you've just let it go as you've moved along in the chase. Is it kind of a superstition now for you?
No, I'm not superstitious at all. It was just an excuse to grow a beard. I've always wanted to grow a beard, but you gotta look good and presentable for your sponsors. And I asked Matt, calling, I was like, hey, can I grow a chase beard for Make the Chase? And he said, yeah. And so I'm growing it. I'm ready to shave it, but then again, it's bittersweet because if I shave it, it means I'm out of the chase. So hopefully I don't have to shave it till right before the banquet.
All right, we'll go to
It's a good looking
Wolfgang.
beard though. I mean, it grew full. I mean, it's not,
I put some new beard balm in it. I actually combed it this week.
Nice.
Changed it up a little bit.
And I got some teammates that couldn't grow a beard if you paid them all year to try to do it. So it's very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Wolfgang and then Stan.
Wolfgang Monser from German Rennsport Press Agency. A question to Blake Koch. Yeah, you have a German name. You pronounce it Koch.
Whatever he said.
Okay. I have a question concerning your team. As far as I know, it's a single-car team, relatively new team. How does you get in contact with these people from Cowlick Racing? And did they have any background before they entered the Xfinity Series in motor racing?
Matt Collig, the owner of Collig Racing, is also the owner of Leaf Filter Gutter Protection. And Leaf Filter's been my sponsor since, they sponsored a Cup car in 2014. And I was asked to drive it, and that's when I met Matt. And then when I went to Xfinity racing for TriStar, Matt was my full-time primary sponsor. And to be honest, last year after the Charlotte race, he's like, dude, I want to start a race team. And that's literally what he said. And I said, all right, let's do it. And that was like late October, and we got Chris Rice on board. That was a huge asset. He has a lot of relationships, and his idea to have an RCR.
I'm going to tell him you called him huge.
Yeah, not literally huge. But, you know, his idea to have the RCR Alliance is what got us up to speed really quick. And I feel like people are like, well, when are you going to go to a two-car team? Don't you need teammates and all that? I feel like I have great teammates. I feel like Brendan Gaughan's a teammate. Brandon Jones, Ty, lean on Ty a lot. Ty and Austin. So I have a lot of help there. It adds depth to our race team. But then again, we are still a single-car team, and I feel like we're just getting better every single week. We're implementing a new change this week to our race car. I think it's going to benefit us a ton.
All right, we'll finish up with Stan.
Okay, Stan Creekmore with Outside the Box. Middle-aged Mr. Brenden Gaughan. You can remember a time when you tested a car many times before you actually brought it to a race and run it.
Absolutely.
How can you feel this confident about the vehicle you now have since you haven't had that testing?
Did I say I was that confident?
Yes.
I said I was looking forward to it.
He has no choice.
Yeah, exactly. If you come in not confident, think you guys are a bunch of fools, that's not going to work very well. So, you know, I have confidence in the knowledge that our engineering staff has. I feel that, you know, you have to believe in the guys that you have in places. I know Shane Wilson and I together have done a lot of things. I hope that this is the right direction. That's all I can ever say. In the old days, I could say I hope. Go down to Texas World Speedway, spend 2 days, test the hell out of it, know what we needed, and say, yep, it was right, or hey, guess what, that sucked. Nowadays, you have to run it through sim programs and $50 million worth of engineering assets and all these things that they've gone to since they canceled all testing. So as an old guy, I like the fact I don't have to go test all the time. I got kids. It's nice to, well, actually, the last 2 weeks, I wish I could have gone and tested and would have slept. But you know, it's kind of a bummer for like guys like this where they can't go and test like I did. I mean, when I was coming up in the sport, hell, and when we had our team in Vegas, I tested like 45 times one year. You know, I mean, it just, we were able to do it, and that's what made Shane and I good. So now you have to believe in your assets, and RCR has a lot of them, and I'm hoping it's the right direction. But, you know, am I confident? I'm confident because I got a great race team. I'm confident we got a lot of Chevrolet help. We got a lot of the right pieces and parts. And I'll tell you after the race how confident I am that it worked.
All right, thank you guys for joining us today, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.